Welcome to the HDCI Lab. As you can see, this is our webpage. On our webpage, you can read about the type of research we focus on in the lab. You can meet our research team, and find information on any current or past studies we have conducted. In the HDCI Lab, interdisciplinary approaches are used to research the ways in which psychological and social-cultural factors affect health outcomes. Working in the HDCI Lab gives students a hands-on opportunity to see what doing research is all about. You will become a part of the research team and will have an opportunity to engage in a variety of research processes that can play a pivotal role in preparation for graduate school and research or academic careers. Although Dr. Stevens and our lab's doctoral students will help you gain research skills as part of the research team, you are expected to still do your part. This means maintaining a minimum of 8 hours a week in the lab, attending research lab meetings, leading data collection, entering data, and preparing literature reviews. Now, let's talk about the Dropbox. The Dropbox is a program that is available on every computer in the lab and where you will access and save lab assignments. It is important to keep and save your assignments only on the Dropbox because it is secure and most of our studies contain confidential information. Also, anything saved or uploaded to the Dropbox can be found on any computer in the lab. This allows you to not worry about which computer you last used. The Dropbox contains 5 folders. The first folder is labeled Current Studies, which is a folder that contains files and important materials that pertain to the specific study you will be assigned to work on. The second folder, labeled Student Projects, is where you may find and store files for independent research projects. Each folder within this folder is specific for that individual student or team of students. The third folder, the RA folder, contains a folder for each RA currently working in the lab. Within these folders, you should store a copy of your human subject certificate and your hourly log. You may also want to keep copies of lab instructions, lab reminders, or honors thesis work. Dr. Stevens or your research team supervisor will be going into your folder to review your weekly hour log and copy your human subject certificate. Remember, however, this folder can be accessed by anyone in the lab. Although students should not be going through others' folders, it is important to recognize that this folder is not completely private. The fourth folder, the Lab Resources folder, is where you will find instructions on how to carry out certain tasks, how to write an abstract, or even find CV and personal statement examples. Finally, the current semester schedule folder is where you can view what days you are scheduled to be in the lab and what tasks you should be working on for the week. Make sure that it corresponds to the semester that you are currently working in the lab. Another important aspect of working in the lab is recording your lab hours. The weekly hours log is essentially a diary of your research process contributions. This is your record of the tasks you have gained experience in and Dr. Stevens' guide to identifying the skills and contributions you have made to the lab. Please note that students are expected to update their weekly hours log each week. Your hours log must be accurate and reflect your true work output. If you fail to post hours on the weekly hours log, it will be assumed that you did not work in the lab over that time period. Students who enter incorrect or inaccurate log activity will be asked to leave the lab. To start logging in your hours, copy the file labeled hours log _blank, rename it with your name, and store it in your folder. Your weekly hours log should follow the example provided on the Excel file titled example _hours log. Enter your hours and tasks each week using the format shown. Another important file that should be kept in your RA folder is the human subject certificate. which can be obtained by following the link provided in the handbook under the Human Subject Certificates section. Once you follow the link, you will register and complete the online course. Federal regulations require that key personnel in studies involving human subjects undergo training to improve research subject safety. Students in the lab are required to undergo and complete the National Institutes for Health Office of Extramural Research online tutorial titled Protecting Human Research Participants. All students in the HDCI Lab must complete the online tutorial and place a copy in their folder located in the Dropbox. At the HDCI Lab, we do the best to accommodate our students. If you're interested in earning credits, please be aware of the following. After one semester of volunteering in the lab, students may request to earn independent research or honors thesis credits for their research hours. Registration for credits requires permission from Dr. Stevens and a permission number to enter into PantherSoft. For each credit, students must commit to 3.5 hours a week. This means that for 3 credits, students must be available for 10 hours every week. One more thing you should be aware of is how to use your lab resources and your lab time. The HDCI Lab is run like a graduate student program. Students are given a high level of independence, respect, and trust. You're not being watched 24/7 because you are expected to operate like mature adults. This means that you should not be using the lab as a meeting place for friends, working on non-lab assignments during your lab hours, using lab resources for non-lab tasks, using lab information or materials for course content, or generally abusing any privileges. Additionally, while we recognize that you are bound to work on your expected tasks, this means you should be productive and completing tasks assigned only to you. If you are not moving at an acceptable pace, you will be required to explain why this is occurring. Also, working on tasks that were not assigned is not acceptable. I hope that all this information has prepared you to get the most out of your research experience in the HDCI Lab. Thank you, and again, welcome to the lab.